Welcome to the CHCH Newsmakers podcast. I'm your host, Rick Zamperin. Every child deserves to play, and for decades, that message has been a driving force behind the Catholic Youth Organization of the Diocese of Hamilton. Since 1972, the CYO has offered one-to-one counselor support for children living with special needs, and we're going to highlight that on today's Newsmakers. Joining me is Executive Director Brett Martin. Brett, thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the foundation, CYO, Catholic Youth Organization. What is it all about?
So we're a nonprofit organization that specializes in offering summer camp, of course, as well as outdoor education experiences year-round at our major facilities, Camp Rebuff in Rockwood, Ontario, and Marydale Park in Mount Hope. And we also offer a lot of athletic programming for elementary school age children all throughout the year. And across the year, we create over 45,000 opportunities for youth to participate in the mentioned programs.
This has been going on before you were born, before I was born, in fact. Talk about the need in the community, and are you seeing that need grow year in and year out?
Yeah, the need is growing. For example, I know in 2015 we had been creating 35,000 opportunities, and within that 10-year window, we've grown over 10,000 in terms of the amount we're serving. It's not individual participants. Of course, there's some crossover between our programs, but that demonstrates the impact that this organization has and the need that's out there. There's a lot of new families coming into Hamilton and predominantly requiring a lot of these types of service. They're important services, and we continue to offer them best we can.
I remember at the time when Camp Marydale was first being thought of and first opened, It was the first of its kind, a barrier-free playground for kids with disabilities. Is it still a first of its kind, or have other communities said, hey, we need to do something like this?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of other communities that are getting involved in that space, and that's fantastic. Any organization, business, community, accessibility is a constant need for conversation and upgrading in many capacities. But yeah, one of the first in the country at the time in 2012 when it first opened. It's amazing, fully accessible spaces and paved pathways that are wheelchair accessible throughout the park. And the pool is wheelchair accessible. It's a fantastic place for children to thrive of all abilities.
How big of a difference maker has this been? What feedback have you heard from parents?
Well, it's incredible. And it makes a huge difference for families with children living with special needs. Families need that help. They need the support, and we offer this at the same registration cost as mainstream camping per se. And families, that's the number one feedback, is we're not charging anymore, or we find the financial means through our campership fund to offset costs, whether it's for children living with special needs or families that are in financial difficulty situations.
And this one-to-one counselor relationship, this is a huge aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the one-to-one, how that works is a child living with special needs registers in the program, and they identify they'd like one-to-one support for their child. So they'll have their own personal counselor that will accommodate them along with their group counselors and along with their group of peers, that they'll go along with all the camp activities throughout the week. So with that extra support, and it varies across the spectrum. We service children that are fully wheelchair bound that need all the help for everything. And it's an honor to do that work and see them participate in many ways because of this extra support. Families write home, and if it's a conversation, or one-to-one counselors will write a report in terms of what they've done across the day, and without that support, it wouldn't have happened, right? So it is an honor to continue this legacy in the community that since 1972, CYO is one of the first camp organizations in Canada to offer this service. So there's been a lot of other great organizations out there that have followed suit and have done that in stride, and we encourage anyone to look for ways to break down those barriers, as we will continue to do.
How many one-to-one counselors do you have?
So at Marydale Park, we had 17 per week this past summer.
Okay. At
Camp Rebuff, which is an overnight and day camp facility in Rockwood, we had 3 per week. And at Athletes in Action Sports Camp in Ancaster, we had 3 per week. And that varies across the ability to acquire staffing and based on our fundraising efforts, particularly for the children's fundraiser happening in February, in which we offset those costs because it's a subsidized program. and we're either charging the same or subsidizing the campership, those factors come into play each year.
Yeah. Before we get into the fundraising aspect, because it's an important part of this process, these one-to-one counselors, I've gone to so many CYO galas over the past number of years, and these counselors are always, and rightfully so, placed on a pedestal because of the work that they do with these individuals.
Yeah, it's challenging work. It's but it's rewarding, and oftentimes. And that's how I got started in the CYO. When I've grown up in this organization, I went to the old Camp Marydale that was in Push Lynch, kind of near here, actually. It's pretty close to here, the old park. But I grew up, I volunteered as a volunteer referee, doing volleyball, flag football, basketball, playing all the sports. And a cohort of me and my friends, we've always stuck volunteering with this group, and you're working with children with special needs and adults with special needs, depending on the program that we're offering. And it's fantastic. You know, there's other like-minded agencies out there. I was at a conference for Special Olympics Ontario, the Law Enforcement Torch Run. They facilitate a lot of the polar plunges, and we're hosting a polar plunge actually at Marydale Park in a few weeks. But they have a program in which they work with schools, and it's an all-inclusive sports program. So children of all abilities are playing together, and this type of program, they've done studies, it lowers depression rates with students of all abilities, and it makes them perform better in academics. And that engagement, that inclusive environment, that's an example of what we've always strived to maintain and will continue to do at the CYO. I think it pays dividends, and we've heard feedback from the community that it does pay dividends in multiple ways, in just improving lives across the board.
It's amazing to think that one little aspect of their lives makes a mammoth difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's incredible.
The CYO Gala, it's February 26th.
Yep.
Carmen's Event Center.
Yep.
Tell us how we can get tickets before I forget, because it'll slip my mind.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for bringing that up.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a crucial fundraiser every year. And like we discussed, it helps offset the costs associated with our one-to-one program. And that's taking place February 26th, as you said. You can get tickets online, cyo.on.ca, and you can call our office. All of our contact information is online. We have a whole page available on our website dedicated. You can support by purchasing tickets. You can sponsor the event. You can purchase an ad in our program if you have a business. And you can also contribute to the campership fund, which goes into the pot to diversify across our programs, to assist either with the one-to-one program or just children looking to get into summer camp if they need the help.
It's a tremendous event as well. I know there's an honorary camper each and every year. Can you tell us about this year's honorary camper?
Yeah.
Maybe spilling the beans?
No, we've announced it.
Okay.
But Camila Palermo, fantastic. She's been in our one-to-one program for the past 2 summers now at Camp Marydale, and her family's amazing. And so they'll be speaking each year. We have the honorary camper, and they're brought in by the police honor guard as well. We have a great partnership with the Hamilton Police and other regional police services, and they give a keynote and they talk about the impact that this has had on their family. And this year, Mercedes Palermo, Camila's mother, her family will be speaking to what their experience was like. Yeah. And she's been fantastic to work with. We're very appreciative of her time and commitment on this. She herself is a healthcare worker, registered nurse, mother, and community advocate in working with the disability community to ensure that we are breaking down barriers and we continue to spread awareness. And it's an honor to work with her. Yeah.
It's an amazing time each and every night on CYO Gala night. It's a very loud room. And when the honorary campers' parents are speaking, you can hear a pin drop because there's a lot of emotion. The story's so compelling. People want to know what's going on.
Yeah. And that's the best way that our programs resonate. I could sit here all day and talk about it, and maybe I'm biased. We have a great program. I could say that, but when parents and those who've experienced our program, especially the one-to-one program, that's what resonates with people, and that's why it's so important that we have some representation from that. And we're so thankful year over year. There's been many 41 honorary campers in our agency's history, and each year families have come up taking the time out of their day, their evenings to support the CYO and propel that story. That is so important. That's why we've been able to maintain this type of programming for decades in the Hamilton community and beyond.
If people want to go online to purchase tickets or even sponsor the event, where can they go?
You can go to cyo.on.ca on our website. You can also reach out to our office. All of our contact information is online, and any support matters. Any dollar figure goes a long way in supporting the children in our programs and youth.
What is the fundraising target, and has that changed over the years because of tariffs or economic uncertainty or just the way of life?
It's certainly changed, and it's grown over the years. Our target is to net at least $100,000 because that contributes into various programs in terms of our one-to-one offsetting costs there, camperships overall, and ensuring that we can put as many kids in camp as possible. It varies. So that's our net goal, and I think we're on track for that. But we're going to continue to push over these next few weeks.
In terms of changing numbers as well, do you hope to grow the program when it comes to the number of kids you can help?
Of course, no. Prior to COVID, we had been servicing a higher amount of children. We were almost up to 40 kids a week in our one-to-one program for Camp Marydale. I hate talking about COVID all the time, but it's affected so many nonprofits.
Such a huge impact.
It's obliterated nonprofits in the worst case scenarios, and we've survived through a lot of hard work of the staff, volunteers, and especially our contributors, community donors. I'd like to give a shout out to Jason Gomans and his family. Gomans Appliances has been a huge supporter of the CYO for the last decade and a bit, and as well as the Diocese of Hamilton. Crucial supporters out there that have the Hamilton Wentworth Catholic District School Board, a big partner there, have been the big reason that the agency continues to have the impact, especially through those tough years. Yeah.
When it comes to Camp Marydale and Camp Brébeuf, are there changes in the works? Are there grand plans to say, we should tweak things?
Well, there's always ways that we're looking to improve, especially with accessibility in mind and update infrastructure. It's an older facility at Camp Brébeuf, so we're always planning to. We have done some major upgrades, and especially with the Gomans annual memorial event, golf tournament that they host in June each year. We've been able to retrofit the pool at Camp Brébeuf. We've rebuilt the dining hall at Camp Brébeuf. That was in 2019, just before the pandemic, so it was great timing. This past summer, we've had to completely gut and redo the pool at Camp Marydale, which is a fully wheelchair, beach-style accessible pool. And that was $160,000 that we had to, and that was unplanned capital. So that was a fun project this past spring. So we had other ambitions. Needs come up as they do, and you have to be able to pivot, continue to work with your partners, and drive the support. And in the end of the day, it's all worth it, because you're creating these opportunities for kids to get outside and live healthy, active lifestyles in beautiful nature. So
Another great part of the CYO annual gala, and again, this is the 41st annual, a small part of it, is the Golden Horseshoe Athlete of the Year award presentation. The Rising Star Award, which is new to this year, is going to be presented. So thank you for giving us, and I say us because I'm part of the Golden Horseshoe Athlete of the Year selection committee, the platform to do so. It's an exciting nugget of the event as well.
I think it's a significant aspect. It brings the history and it draws attention to our agency. So the partnership there is very fruitful, in my opinion. And I really look forward to that. There's a lot of people that are excited, especially with the Rising Star Award. I think that's an excellent pivot. And to celebrate young, upcoming athletes, which is so on brand for CYO. There's been a lot of great athletes that have come out of CYO programming, basketball, volleyball, flag football, going on into university athletics or professional sports in some really amazing cases. So it's an honor to have you and the committee work with us to deliver that amazing news each year.
Looking forward to presenting the winners this year. We'll be waiting with bated breath on February 26th to see the names coming out of the envelopes.
100%.
Back to CYO, the need for volunteers. And I know with any event or whether it's a Grey Cup festival or the Junos that are coming up or something that's an annual camp like this, I'm sure the need is always great. How has that transpired?
So it's heavily volunteer based, and we have a strong group of volunteers that come out for all of our athletics is heavily volunteer based, and whether it's teachers that are volunteering after school to bring out their teams, create the teams, and foster those relationships. Our referees are coming out in their evenings to run this programming, creating after school programming for kids. And this is at no cost. So we run the athletics for the Catholic Board in Hamilton, and there's no cost to the participants, right? I think that's incredibly important to maintain, and we do that because of the existing partnerships we have, and that's so important to offer children after school something to work for. Sport, and there's nothing inherently easy about sports. You learn how to persevere in difficult situations. You're going to learn to lose, and you got to get back at it next week, and you got to learn how to win. And then those wins are even sweeter when you work hard for them and you've experienced the loss and go on to experience a victory.
Yeah, you also learn some great life lessons like teamwork. You build that camaraderie.
100%.
You're pulling the rope the same way, things will go your way. Maybe 9 times out of 10 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
If there's a high school student or if there's even an adult in the community who says, you know what, maybe I should get back into volunteering or start volunteering or get those volunteer hours from the high school level, what are they in for? What can they expect?
Yeah, so it would be a few hours a week that we'd ask. Typically in an evening, you can expect anywhere from 2 to 3 hours of volunteering, and where you're going, just doing a brief setup of the gym, you're working with scorekeepers, referees, line officials, however it's set up in the particular sport, and 3 games, and that's it. It's a brief evening, and working with parents and whatnot, and that's the important thing too. That is it's a lot of young people that are volunteering, and we encourage a lot of high school age children that are coming, youth that are coming out, running these sports events, because that's a whole other management skill that you are going to learn leaps and bounds ahead of your peers. You're dealing with parents. It can be a challenging, the refs can get a bad rap sometimes. But
I used to be a referee. I know all about it.
Yeah, me too. And but we have a zero tolerance policy in line with the city of Hamilton that, there's no talking back against the refs. Otherwise, you're going to face a suspension. We maintain that protection for our volunteer refs so we can have sustainability in the program, because it wouldn't be a very fun time if you're just getting yelled at the whole time. But you're going to have to, think on your feet, manage some difficult conversations, and then you're in charge. You're in charge of that gym, and that sets you up in life for leadership roles. And we need more of that. We need young people taking on more of those leadership roles, because eventually we're going to need them to be our leaders and, take care of us when we can't take care of ourselves in age, so.
Great news for CYO as well, especially because Hamilton has such a tremendous history when it comes to volunteership. When there's an event, when there's a cause, when there's an organization that has a great track record, people are eager to say, I want to help out.
Yeah, I heard it was the volunteer capital of Canada.
I've heard
Is that true?
I don't know if it's an official designation, but there's something to it.
It makes sense, yeah. Well, it's an honor to be working for an organization that drives a good portion of that volunteerism and encourages that. And at the end of the day, it's about creating community, and a lot of people are better off because of this programming.
Absolutely. I
truly believe that, and I'm looking forward to growing in which ways we can to support the community that has supported us.
This organization's been around for 50 plus years. What do you see in the next 50 years? Look into your crystal ball.
Yeah, well, it's almost 68 years actually, the agency. It started in 1958.
Right.
And I see us growing. I see us looking for ways, especially in the space of our one-to-one program. I think that is the greatest need, and since I've come on in this role, I've tried to bring as much exposure to community leaders as possible is in the impact that this organization is having. And so working with, I've had members of provincial parliament, members of parliament, a lot of city councillors come to visit our property in the summer when, the prime programs are taking place, so they can see firsthand how important this is. So I'd love to expand to as many community partners as possible to particularly serve that aspect, because the need is so great.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to keep trying to do that.
Are government officials, or maybe more government officials and private donors, eager to listen and eager to say, yeah, we can get involved here?
Certainly, yeah. There's when you tell the story, it resonates.
Yeah.
And it's just looking for ways to navigate. So it's early days in terms, and we have had support in various grants and stuff that we've been successful, sometimes not successful, but that's just the way it goes with grant writing. And it's a numbers game. And being persistent, bringing people to the program so they can see it firsthand is everything. So this dinner, having the honorary campers family speak to the impact is everything, and that's what resonates, and that's how we'll continue to attract more support for this great cause that has served Hamilton and the greater region for almost 7 decades.
In particular with the CYO Gala, 41 years, at least it'll be the 41st annual this year. To many more, continued success. Congrats on all the impact that you've had in this community and impacting so many young families and children with special needs, and that they can enjoy a summer camp like everyone else.
Yeah. Thanks, Rick. I'm just one person. I do one job in this organization. There's thousands of people that deserve the credit, staff, community partners, volunteers, that you need an army to run this, and it's because of the support of thousands, literally thousands of people, Hamiltonians, that this agency continues to thrive.
Appreciate the time today, and we'll see you on February 26th.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
And that is a wrap for Newsmakers. A big thank you to the all-star cast behind the scenes. A job well done once again. If you like today's episode, click the thumbs up, hit subscribe, leave a comment as well. You can catch the Newsmakers podcast on chch.com/podcasts and wherever you get your favorite podcasts.